Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Joe Hayes, and I'm here with our head coach, Keith Goss. Coach, last and final Coaches Show of the season, and what a season it's been. It's been an interesting season for sure. And let's just start off with, let's kind of go right into the Vidalia game. It was a big game. I believe they are region champs, correct?
They are now region champs.
They are now region champs. So it was a big climb. It was a big hill to overcome. But I feel like that game, we definitely gave them a run for their money.
There's no doubt. Obviously, we knew it was going to be tough going into the game. I don't think any of our guys shied away from the challenge. Losing our starting quarterback the week before, then our best receiver having to come to quarterback, really drastically affected two position groups.
And our nose guard as well.
Yeah. I figured we would touch base on that later. But the challenges are many. But our guys never shrunk away from it. Our coaches, our players, our community. There's a lot of people who knew what we were facing going into the last week. Then the support was just as good as ever. The players worked just as hard as ever. The coaches worked just as hard as ever. And we fought and tried to find a way to win.
Well, Coach, it was definitely one of them games that kept you on the edge of your seat, and it was just a fun game to watch. And and I commend Terry on with what you're saying. That's a tall order to put on a young man,
right.
and he handled it well. And
it's one thing to run a Wildcat package and have a couple set plays. It's another thing for him to jump in there and run the entire offense.
Right.
And he did a great job of that, and carried the ball, I think, around 25 times for 160 yards or something to that effect. And then, managed the game, doing what we needed him to do to give us a chance down the line. And, we had our chances. We just have to learn how to finish off games when we have those opportunities.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Other than Terrion being the biggest noticeable thing, I think the second most notable thing was, I know we were a little banged up in our running back position, and we got to see a little more playing time of freshman, upcoming running back Rashid Slade. And I thought he did a really good job in the past two games.
Right.
But he did come into another big game and perform well.
He's doing a great job. You hope not to have to play freshmen as a program. But he's earned the right to be out there. He's earned reps. And he's going to be a good football player. He is a good football player now. And that will just continue to grow. Strength-wise, he's as strong as anybody on the field. I think today when we went through our maxes, he power clean 260. His bench is getting there. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what his squat, and I think his squat was 440. And when you're talking with those type of numbers, with a guy you still have 3 more years with, those things are exciting.
Yes, definitely. And it's been fun to watch, and I like seeing, just because last game is this past Friday, that doesn't mean that football ends. You guys went right back to work on Monday.
Football doesn't end. We're and it's not just what I mean with football. Training our athletes will never end.
Yeah.
No, I'm not the head basketball coach. I am not the head baseball coach. But I'm going to go to those games. I still want to see our guys physically stronger than the other team.
Right.
I still want to see our guys physically be able to compete with anybody and hopefully we get to a point where we look better in our uniforms and our jerseys than our opponent. But we're getting there little by little. Our kids are understanding the importance of weight room, and it's just going to continue to build from where we are.
Well, it's definitely exciting to see, and it's definitely shown with Rashid on the field and watching him the past 2 Fridays on offense, where he'd been playing more on the defensive side of the ball, but it was really exciting to see him on offense. Offensively, it was another game, Coach, where we, a couple of mistakes, a couple of calls. It was one of them games where we were just right there. And,
we're right there, and defense has just done a great job of especially when we lose our starting quarterback for a game. And defense does a great job of playing and putting us in a position and battling their tail off against a really good offense.
Yes.
And their quarterback is, as slippery as they come. He's a good quarterback.
He was.
So, we're in the position to win, and we're in football games, and we're battling, and the next step in the program, and everything is a process, and I'm sure everybody hears process all the time. But you have to earn the right to get into those type of football games, and then you got to learn how to win.
All right.
And so we've earned the right to be in those games. We've proven that over the second half of this season. But we can play against good competition and be in those type of games. And the next step is building a belief system that we've worked hard enough and done enough and prepared hard enough throughout the year that we deserve to win these
right.
type of games. And so, that will be something we continue to develop. I expect, moving into the off season, I think, competing in things only make you a stronger competitor. I've told all my guys I expect them to play 2 sports here, if not 3. I did that in high school. I think that's one of the few reasons why I was a collegiate athlete. It's because, I did football, wrestling, and tennis. And each one of those sports made me better.
Right.
And constantly competing year-round made me better. And that's what I'm really driving home to our guys. Not only does it have that benefit, but I think it will help all of our athletic programs elevate here, where it's not just baseball doing good or football doing good. It's Bacon County athletics doing good.
Right.
And in this community, I think that's an important thing.
It is. Well, you always pick up different skill sets in another sport that help you
Absolutely.
Back in this, maybe your main sport, football. And it's no different than, I've told many of people that wrestling probably gave me the most confidence of any sport that I played, because you are one-on-one, out there by yourself.
There's no doubt.
And also learning how to use people's momentum against them. You didn't necessarily have to be the strongest man, but you learn leverage and how to move people around and where's the best pivot points to put your hand to place them, to shift them and move them. And, and it was skills that I don't think that I would have picked up anywhere else. And, it was very beneficial to me. But, going back to Vidalia, I don't want to take away from offense. We did talk about Terry Young, Bruce Brown, and Guyton both had good nights at the back position.
Guyton had some explosive runs.
He did.
He's been a little tweaked up this year and kind of battled an ankle injury, but been tough and been there battling for the team. And so there's some things he's had to push through injury-wise, which has slowed him down a little bit from, he's been battling it since, game 1. So he's done some good things this year, battling through an ankle injury.
Right. Well, we're just proud of our guys on the offensive side of the ball. It was a big year for our team. On the offensive side of the ball, we had 3 school records, new school records broke, with Terry Young with most touchdown catches in a season, with Mason throwing the most touchdown passes in a season, and also the most passing yards in a season. And that was with him missing the last game as well, and still broke
right.
the school record. And I hated it for Terry Young because he was close to breaking a second record as well.
Right.
And Asio Washington is still going to be able to hold on to that record for the most receiving yards in a season. But what I like about these records and the offensive side of the ball, and I really, really want to put out there how much we appreciate the Wall of Fame and those guys what they're doing to go back and dig up these records
Right.
and make it where the players have something to
shoot
put on
for.
the board.
That's right. And it's a special thing. There's a lot of things that are going right in this community now. And it's a great time to be a Red Raider. We have our athletic programs are on the upswing. We have people in the community just pouring themselves into this program, and they're passionate people.
Yeah.
And they're helping making a difference with some of the things we're doing with the Feed the Raider program. I mean, anytime you're looking at kids trying to get bigger and stronger, there's three main things that are gonna affect how that happens. One is how hard they're working out in the program. Is the program designed the correct way? Two is how much rest they're getting at night, and are they sleeping the proper amount? And number three is, are they putting enough calories in their body? Are they putting enough the right things in their body? And we can encourage them to sleep the right way, but getting the right things in their body, we can directly affect that, and we have.
Right.
By going out and doing the Feed the Raider program and getting things for the kids to eat there during the course of the day. And all of a sudden this kid is 10 pounds heavier. Well, he's been working as hard as he was just working in the weight room. The fact is now that he's got enough nutrition in his body for his muscles to develop.
Yeah. And
he's got enough calories in his body. So good things like that are happening.
It is.
It's like I say, time and time again, it is all a process.
It is, Coach.
And we're excited about the direction that's going in. Obviously, we're a lot better than last year, and we feel like next year will be better than this year.
Well, good deal. Defensively, versus Vidalia, I thought defense, all in all, did a really good job and kept us in the game. They, the very first play of the game where we kicked to them and create a fumble, and we're able to put up a score from that. That's a really big deal. And so we created turnovers.
The end of the
our
game,
defense fought hard.
We hit their quarterback and caused another turnover and give it to our offense on that.
That's right.
On that side of the field, and we weren't able to come up with it that next time on offense. But our defense has really come to life in region play. After game one against Jeff Davis, they've given us a chance in every game.
Yes.
And that's a big step forward from where we were just a year ago. And so we are excited. And the fact that we return, roughly 8 to 9 guys on that side of the ball, and more that have had playing experience, that have rotated in sometime or another, it can get you pretty excited about, our abilities on that side of the ball next year.
Well, it's been definitely fun watching, like Squeaky and Joe Harris just really having some big plays. Brady Cothran this year, Trent Music, just to me a very fun player to watch on the defensive side of the ball. And I even give him a new nickname, Trent Downhill Music. That's my personal. He's just going downhill to the ball every play, and not that every single player isn't doing that. He just always seems to find a way to get to the ball.
No, I mean when he's locked in and running the alley, he's got a different speed about him.
He does, and I'm excited to see a lot of those guys return. Being you brought that up, let's kind of talk about that. So offensively and defensively, roughly how many players are we going to lose on the offensive side of the ball?
Offensive side of the ball, we'll lose roughly 5 or 6 at this point of the season, towards the end of the season.
So we're losing Mason and
we're losing
Terry on,
Mason,
Bruce Brown.
Terry on, Bruce Brown. We lose Dustin Andrews in the middle, which a little bit of an undersized guy, but just scrappy and tough. That young man proved how tough he was to me.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody didn't know or couldn't tell in the stands, but played the second half of the season with at least the second half of the season with a pinched nerve, and was in a good amount of pain in every game we played in. after that point. So just a mentally and physically tough kid who's come a long way. Come a long way to be the football player he is.
And Jarrett Boatwright's another one that I just thought of out there at wide receiver.
That's right.
We'll be losing him.
We'll be losing Jarrett Boatwright, and then Griffin and
Griffin, yes.
And then Dylan Parker.
Dylan Parker. Yeah.
So that's
And that's a lot of size there between Dylan Parker up front.
Right.
In the trenches, you got Dylan, Dustin, and Griffin.
Right, and there are some big guys, but we got some big guys coming too. Josh Owens is 6'3", and in his 220s, 230s already. We'll have him in his 240s by the time he plays next year. Tyler Thomas is now a Red Raider. Today he eclipsed 800 pounds on 3 lifts.
Okay.
Before we play next year, I'm sure he'll be an Iron Raider. He's understanding the value of the weight room and starting to love it, and he's got the attitude to go with it, and so he'll be a fun one to watch up front for the next 3 years.
Okay.
You got Keyshawn Holmes, who's a long, athletic kid. He's almost my height already, and he's also a freshman. I stay on Keyshawn about the weight room. We're going to get him there.
Yep.
But another one, Marquand Lee, who's another freshman. All these guys are going to be rising sophomores next year. Marquand is knocking on the door of hitting that Red Raider status. So we're going to have some bigger body kids. The kids I just mentioned are going to outweigh and be taller than the ones that left.
Okay.
Now, some of those guys were stronger a little bit right now.
Yeah.
But we have time to fix that.
Okay. Defensive side of the ball, Joe Harris is one of them. Squeaky, he's another one that's graduating, and proud of him. He's had, 3 offers so far.
Right.
Terrion's had 3 offers so far. Those guys. So we do have some college offers coming in.
Oh yeah, that all that's cranking up, and just when I was walking down here, we have a recruiting fair to go to on December 10th now. So I'll be taking that day and going to promote our guys.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Coach, let's take a real quick break, and we come back and we've already touched on it some, but I want to go into what we can expect from the 2020 season, what preparations, are going to start taking place, and how we as Raider Nation can possibly help. So, Raider Nation, let us take a real quick break and get our sponsors some recognition, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Red Raider Coaches Show. Well, Coach, now it's time to get to work into the 2021 season, and boy, that's hard. That doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easy as 2020 does, but I am ready to see 2020 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah,
we've got.
I don't know if anything about 2020 was easy.
Yeah, so we've got 2021. We have it in sight now. It's just around the corner, and I couldn't be more excited to see already how much the guys have gone to work. I know after Friday night, it was a very emotional loss. The guys fought hard. They gave it their all this season. And, outside of 2 games, every game was within points or, 1 point or a touchdown or less. And so I know that's tough. They gave it their all. And I think that's left a benchmark for this group here to start and move forward.
Right.
I commend this group, the effort that they put forward this season during such adversity. They have faced adversity like no team maybe in Bacon County history's ever faced. And, we went through a pandemic and didn't even know we were going to have a season.
Right, and to continue to work and find ways to work safely and within the confines of all of the rules we had, nobody's ever played through pandemic. And so it was new ground for all of us. You know, I think we managed it well, and we're able to continue to grow. You know, we definitely had help from a lot of different people to make it work through what we did in the summertime, and then when we were able to bring them in finally. I had to run 5 and 6 different groups to start the summer, and it was definitely a lot of challenges. But you know, our kids wanted to improve, and they wanted to answer those challenges, and they wanted to be a part of something, and make things better here. And I wholeheartedly believe that's happening. I think the culture is changing, the belief system is changing, understanding why we work and what we're working for, and what we're building, even above and beyond wins and losses.
Right.
And the character and the heart of these young men. So it's like I said before, it's an exciting time.
It is.
You know, we didn't, you know, nothing changes as far as our routine. We came back in this week, and we started maxing out. And I've touched on it with a little bit with a few of the guys, but we're going to have a few new Red Raiders in the house. I haven't posted anything yet. I've taken some pictures, but there's a couple other guys that are going to get there by tomorrow, and then I'll post something probably going into Thanksgiving break. And then, you know, we're going to keep building from that.
Now, just so Raider Nation understands, when you say a Red Raider, we're talking about in the weight room, on the board, you have a weight requirement that this is what it takes to be a Red Raider,
right,
to compete on Friday nights at a competitive level.
Right, and that's 800 pounds and 3 lifts.
Yep. So, you know, between their squat, their bench,
and
their power clean, they got to have at least 800 pounds to be able to be considered.
Yeah, that's you ought to be able to compete on Friday night. You are strong enough to match most people. You know, obviously, you know, bigger guys, you know, you want that number to be pushed up into 900 and 1,000. We have several guys that are the next step up, which is Iron Raider, and we have a Super Raider at this point, which is 1,000 pounds on 3 lifts. And those numbers are going to grow, because I believe right now, juniors down, I believe we have over a dozen guys that are over 900 pounds on 3 lifts at this point.
That's awesome.
And so that,
when you started, how many did we have over the 800 pound mark?
I think we played the first season with less than 10.
Yeah.
This year we at the mid-season point before we started region play, I think we had 24 over at 800 pounds or over.
So we more than doubled the numbers of getting the guys up
that are prepared to play.
Yes.
And so there will come a time in the future where, you know, strength-wise, it'll be tough for any freshman to step on the field and play, because we'll have this rolling as the years go along. So, you know, I look forward to
that day.
Those days.
That's right.
You know, we're going to be, you know, physically stronger next year than we were this year, and my plans is to be stronger than that the year after, and until we are, you know, one of the strongest teams in the state. That is the goal, and once we get to that goal, we will try to find ways to improve it from there.
I got you. Well, I'm just excited to see. Again, you know, it's tough. It's no different than I can remember the days of saying picking tobacco, and it's a season. It's a harvest, and you go out and pick tobacco, and you got that last day, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And for some kids and some, you know, and this may be a crazy analogy, but this is just who I am. It's what I do. But, you know, you take a break before you start your next season. And to see the guys literally finish a season on Friday and then on Monday to immediately go back to work, I think that says a lot for you guys, our coaching staff, of the character that you're instilling in them, and to make them understand of what it's going to take to be a winner, and for that kid to actually respond to it and fight through the pains and the emotional side of it, and to get back in there and stay in the fire and, and keep working.
It's the grind's not going to stop.
No.
Yes, we had gains. Yes, we went from the first year 1-9 to 5-5 this year, and those are great things. But that's not where we want to be. So why would we stop? Even when you get there, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is working to get where you are. So we're not going to stop. That's not going to happen as long as I'm here.
As far as future new Red Raiders, we've got the 8th graders coming up, the new 9th graders. I know you've already kind of brought them in here the last 2 or 3 games that some of those guys have been incorporated in.
I let those guys come and go through some drill work with us just to see what it's about. We were already done with JV games and they couldn't participate in any of that. But I let them travel with us on the road. We put them in another jersey like they were a ball boy, and they helped out with different things, but really it was just to let them be a part of the process and be on the sideline on Friday night and take all that in. Because a lot of times the first time you step on a sideline, those lights are on Friday night, it's not like a middle school game you played in. It's different. And it's different for a reason. I mean, it's different atmosphere. It's so much more exciting. There's usually a lot more people in the stands. I mean, it's a whole different event and feel. And so they got an opportunity to be on the sideline and experience some of those things now.
Right.
Which is only going to further the developmental process when I bring them along. And after January, they'll be on Coach Watson's roster. Or after Christmas break, when we start in January, they'll be on Coach Watson's roster. They will come to the high school during 4th block, and they will start their high school process. I tell everybody, once we hit Christmas break, my seniors, I love you, I appreciate you. I'm moving you off the board, and we're sliding everybody down, because right now my juniors are my new seniors.
Yep. And
they have to carry themselves accordingly. My sophomores, my new juniors, my freshmen are my new sophomores, and those 8th graders coming from the middle school, we're bringing them in here 4th block, and those are my freshmen, and that's the way I'm treating them right now. So developmentally, we start that process in January, and already start building a rapport with the younger guys. And obviously my seniors that are graduating, if they come to me and they want to still be in the weight room and they're committed to lifting and doing everything we need them to do while they're in there, and being a leader and maybe even a mentor to some of the younger kids that are coming in, obviously, we want them in there. But our seniors that have decided that they appreciate everything that's going on, but they're done lifting and they're wanting to do something different the second half of their senior year, that's okay too. I understand that.
Right.
It's just not going to be in the weight room.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're losing a total of what, 16 seniors, I believe?
16 seniors in total, 15 or 16.
15 or 16 total seniors. How many are we picking up coming in, a rough estimate? I know you've got a decent count on the 8th graders,
right,
and then possibly any new kids that may be a 10th grader or 11th grader, just like this season. We had a couple of 12th graders for the first time playing
right.
football.
We had some come in off the waiver wire.
Oh, that's right.
We went from, and it was a good sized freshman class. I think our freshman class finished up at 18 this year. But we'll probably pick up 18 or 19 more freshmen next year, which will be bigger than the senior class leaving. That's how many are coming to the weight room.
Okay.
I've already had some of the guys that were, ducking and dodging me as a freshman. Coach, can I get in the weight room in January? I want to come play for you next year. We ended up with, at the high point, 63 on the roster. I think we finished with 59 this year. But during last off season, I think our numbers almost got to 70 before, some of those guys fell by the wayside, which
We
is
had a few injuries that kept a couple of guys from playing all season.
right. So once it all sorts out in the off season, guys that will say they're committing to play and wanting to get in a weight room and want to give it a try, I fully expect those numbers to hit 75 to 80. But once we get to football, that number does come down a little bit. Once you get to popping pads and the structure and the expectations and the standard that I'm going to hold them to. That number is going to go down a little bit, but I think a lot of people are excited about football.
Yeah, definitely so.
For the first time ever, I already had somebody from the front office call me and say they had somebody ask when football trials were for next season. And I think that was on Tuesday.
That's awesome, Coach. That's so good. And this is what we want. We want to continue this excitement. We want to continue to grow the program. Coach, you've got us in the right direction. The effort that was put forward this year was a great effort. Was there stones left unturned? Absolutely. Can we do a better job? Absolutely.
No doubt.
And
we will.
And we will. The coaching staff is committing to doing a better job each and every day, each and every week, each and every year. The players are showing us already that they're committed to do better each and every day. They went back to work immediately on Monday and didn't stop. It's no different. So they're 365 days a year committed to doing this. And Raider Nation is so faithful. The more help that we can get out, the more support that you can give, whether it's financial contribution or physical, to come help anything. Reach out to a Touchdown Club member. Reach out to Coach. Coach, or will you shun anybody away if somebody wants to come talk with you about what can they do to help with the program? No, Coach, he's got an open door policy.
And it's not, really it's not just football. I'm jumping in and I've been released from my basketball coaching duties, but as far as even fundraising for the basketball team and things like that, I'm involved in that.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not coaching it, and then I'll pick back up and start up with soccer here shortly after Thanksgiving break, and we'll start conditioning for that. It's not going to stop here, and it doesn't need to. If you're trying to improve something, you constantly have to stay with it and stay on the grind, and that's how it gets better.
Yeah. Well, Raider Nation, I encourage you to, with what Coach has said here and the commitment that he's making, for all of us to do the same, and let's continue to improve. What can we do better next year as a community, as a fan base, of how we can support the program that much more and make it even better? And every year we would like to see that climb and that step. And there's so many people that's made this possible. I'm going to do a post here towards the end, Coach, and put on Facebook so that we can give a shout out to everybody that's really detailed of, we want to make sure we don't leave anyone left, leave them out. I want to make sure that we get everyone the credit that they deserve for all the efforts that they put forward. But we thank you, Coach, and your coaching staff. I thank the players, each and every one of you. I love you. I appreciate everything y'all done on the field and off the field. I thank you personally for what y'all done for me. And Raider Nation, Alma-Bacon County, we cannot thank you enough. I mean, none of this season, Coach, I don't think would have been possible had we not had the support, the financial contributions, the workers, everything that we've had has just been. It's
been great, and that's great for where we've come.
Yes.
Much like the football program, we don't want to stop there. We want more people in the Booster Club. We want more active bodies to be there when we're doing Booster Club meetings, because then we can accomplish even more than we've accomplished already. And so there's goals and minds and things that will help build this program and really all the athletic programs. We just got to get more bodies involved.
That's right. So there it is, Raider Nation. Coach is asking you to come out, get involved, continue to help us grow, help us to improve. We can use all the help, all the input that we can get, and I promise you we have a place for you. So if you want to come out and help support Bacon County football or Bacon County athletics in general, come talk to us. We will find a spot for you, because all in all, that's what we're here for, is Bacon County school system, Bacon County athletics, and to build our program, to build these young athletes into young men, young women, and it takes a village.
Oh, absolutely.
It takes a village, and we thank everyone for tuning in. We thank you for coming out and supporting us this season. I'm excited to see what the future holds. We got basketball coming up. We've got it's going to be an exciting season with Miss Coach Goss, and Coach Green. So I'm excited to get out there and see what our basketball players are going to do. And we've got baseball season coming up, and soccer season, competition cheerleading, tennis. So a lot of big things going to be happening. I'm just excited through all of this that we can continue to have these sports, and gives our students something to do here and something to work for. So Coach, again, we thank you. I thank your staff. I thank BCTV for making all these productions possible, and his whole team and all the people involved. And I thank our administration and the school system for also helping make this possible. And Ms. Judy Rowland, we thank you. We love you. Ms. Martin, Coach Brown, Principal, Assistant Principal Brown. So we thank you guys for all the support that you give. And Chuck Woodall, our athletic director. So
great job.
We just thank you guys for helping us to achieve everything that we've got this far. And Raider Nation, we're calling on you to help us grow even more. So we will see you again in 2021. Go Big Red.
Horns up.
That's right.